All right, guys, we haven't done a mic'd up video in quite some time, so I figured it'd be good to get back to doing these, maybe for the next couple of videos. But today I'm going to be doing upper body. So I'm going to start off with pull down here. We'll do 2 sets, pretty close to failure. And then after that, I'll go ahead and do some dumbbell laterals. Again, a couple sets to failure. Third movement, I'm gonna do just push-ups. And the reason I'm just doing push-ups is my shoulders, they don't like to do more than 1 pressing movement per session. And also kind of learning that they don't like to do more than 1 heavy type exercise per week. So I figured push-ups is a great way to get some work in there to, keep things afloat, but at the same time, not wrecking the connective tissue. So that way, when I come back around to that upper body session with the heavier pressing movement, I'll be a little bit more fresh. And then we'll finish up with rope hammer curls, 2 sets, failure. There's no direct tricep exercise in the workout just because I think those push-ups, my triceps are going to be pretty fried from that, I think. So that's the workout today, short and sweet. And just to give you guys kind of an update as far as, my contest prep, life, that type of thing. So it's kind of up in the air right now. We just had a death in the family. So the last couple of weeks has been a bit of a struggle. Yeah, I just don't know if I'm going to finish out the prep just because life is going to be changing. My role, responsibility is going to be changing. So it might require more time and more commitment towards those more important things in life. But with that said, I'm still maintaining habits. Like the last couple of weeks, I've been on top of my diet still. The steps haven't been all that great just because I don't have the time to get out there and get those steps because I've been taking care of things here at home and, the family and all that, for the recent events. As far as the training, I'm trying to get in 2 to 3 sessions per week, under the circumstances. And for me, it's a way to have a release, like have an outlet, to kind of take some of the stress off, just kind of lift the weights. And as far as the progressions are concerned, of course I'm trying to make progress as far as load and reps, but I'm not overly concerned about it because right now just moving weight A to B is just feeling really, really good, kind of just removing the emotions around the numbers. And, just diving into the weights and just moving things. It's very therapeutic for me. So yeah, it's just been a little bit of a struggle as of late. But again, maintaining those habits because my overall health is super important. And I want to keep doing the prep habits because I know doing the prep habits is a huge reason as to why I'm pretty healthy and pretty fit. Nutritionally, I haven't been tracking either. I've been just going more intuitive, going off of my hunger cues, letting that guide me. And it's been a huge relief in a sense because it's removing some of the energy and the time required, to put things on a food scale, to put it in a tracking app. I've got 15, 16 contest preps under my belt, been competing over 30 years. So I know pretty much what food looks like and I know what my daily routine looks like. So I have a good idea as far as how to create a deficit without tracking, everything to a T. And I think if I'm going to finish this prep out and make it to the stage, I think this is the route I'm going to have to go in just to keep my stress levels as low as possible and allow as much time for life itself. Yeah, it's been challenging, the last couple of weeks, for the family, but we're doing okay. We're moving ahead. Now, what I like to do is just start training and get this first set underway. So got 160 pounds on there. Rep range, I'm gonna say anywhere between 8 to 10. And again, the goal is to get pretty much to failure on both of these sets. So stability wise, I like to make sure I'm getting myself really tucked in here, taking slack out of the handle right now. Like I'm kind of pulling down on the handle to take slack out, getting myself stabilized. And now, I'm ready to go ahead and start. And we want to have good control here. So I'm using a lot of force, but plenty of control with the concentrics. And on the eccentric, I think of just fighting gravity. Like, I'm not counting in my head how many seconds, but I'm assuming it's going to be roughly 3 seconds on the way up. I get that full stretch at the top, come down, full range of motion. I'm not, a huge fan of the partials, just because, for me anyways, it's harder to find the stopping points. And I don't want to lose momentum on the way down because I'm trying to find an artificial stopping point. So I just go full range of motion until I get fatigued. And then if I have enough energy at the end, then I'll try to get a partial in there or two. Because naturally, as you get more fatigued, that ending point, it gets a little bit easier to know where it's at. Because again, right there, that fatigue told me that was it on the range of motion. That's it. And then as far as like worrying about what's more optimal, full range of motion, partials, I just look at it as 2 baselines is all. So if I'm doing full range of motion, the goal is to try to level up performance, whether it's load, it's reps, or both. Same thing on the partials, it's its baseline, and you're always gonna wanna try to increase the load or the reps. So, worrying about which one is more optimal, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over that. Now I'm gonna actually take a break because I can't really talk. Coming over to my computer, so what I'm doing is kind of logging that set in. As far as the load, I don't log the reps because I'm just worried about hitting the appropriate proximity to failure regardless of the reps. So as long as I'm getting close to failure, I'm getting a stimulus, so I don't lose any sleep there. But also, kind of just looking at the trajectory as far as the contest prep. So right now, if I was to get on stage for the WNBF Muscle Mayhem here in California with Alberto, Eric, and Brad, right now we are just over 15 weeks out. And this morning I hit a new low on the scale, 179.4. And if I can get to 170 pounds, I think I'll be good enough to get on stage and have a great time. I don't know if I'll be elite conditioning at 170 pounds, but I think I'll probably be about 90%, somewhere in there. And with my physique, just with the symmetry, the amount of muscle I carry, with that type of conditioning at 90%, plus my presentation is usually pretty good, I feel like I would represent myself, represent the team and my family really, really well. So we're talking 9 pounds, 15 weeks. It's definitely doable. But again, I'm not going to put a ton of pressure on myself because right now my family needs me, so that's always going to come first. But, if I can just stick to my habits, and that's what's really key, is just sticking to the nutrition more than anything, like the steps, I kind of realize if I don't get them in every single day, as long as I'm on top of my nutrition and I'm, let's say, purposely kind of under eating at times, I think I could, be okay in 15 weeks. But again, no pressure. We'll just let it come to me versus me trying to force things along. But let's go ahead and get this second set in there. I'm going to stick with the same load, 160. Again, we're going to go to failure here. This set, I'm not going to talk through it because it does take a little energy to talk through it, and it might be zapping me to a point where maybe I'm losing a rep or two. So I'll just let you guys, just check it out, just watch and learn through, observation. was a good set. Ooh, yeah, definitely a good set. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys after I get a rest. All right, dumbbell laterals. So for me personally, this is the one that feels best, you know, more so than like cables or anything like that. And again, it's its own baseline that I work from. So the goal is to try to, you know, get as many reps as I can, as much load as I can. And the loads, it's going to be fairly light, only 20 pounds. But you know, it's how I move the 20 pounds. Like if I can keep control, reach failure, again, I'm gonna get, you know, a pretty good stimulus. But here we go. So again, nice and control on the way up. On the way down, fighting gravity. Again, maybe that 3 seconds. Because it's hard to increase the loading on this exercise, you know, because then the form starts to break down. So if I really want to challenge myself, like if the reps start to get a little too high for the loading, then I can always slow the eccentric down. So if I was to slow it down like that, that's getting a lot harder. So just another way to get more with less. So like right now, my mindset isn't to rush, even though it's getting harder. Like I'm not, you know, having a bunch of anxiety and trying to rush the reps, because that's when I'm going to use momentum. I'm going to use leveraging, and then the form breaks down, and then I'm not going to feel it where I want it to feel as much. So on this one, I do like to get the partials in at the end, controlled all the way. And it is on fire, like my shoulders are burning. But I'm not letting the burn dictate my pace. Controlling my emotions, breathing easy, and just taking it all the way till I can't move it anymore. So after about 3 minutes rest, I'm ready to go again. And again, I'm not going to talk through this one. I'm going to let you guys watch this one from the back angle, so that way you can kind of observe from that viewpoint, and then we'll just let it rip. One more. That's it. Perfect push-ups. These are great. They're very comfortable for your wrists, you know, versus going on the floor. You know, you can kind of keep your wrists in a position that's a little more favorable. For me, you know, I don't go here. It's more of like a neutral position here. It's a lot more comfortable on my wrists. It's also a lot more comfortable on my shoulders. And the spacing, I'm not going too far out. Again, I want to protect my achy shoulders, my older shoulders. So I like to keep it a little more narrow, so that way my joints are a little bit, you know, better stacked. It kind of just distributes the force, you know, through those joints a little bit better for me, and it feels more comfortable. But again, we're gonna do 2 sets here to failure. I'm gonna be very controlled with my reps, you know, again, fighting gravity on the way down, getting a good stretch at the bottom. I'm gonna come all the way up, you know, to full range of motion. A slight pause at the top. You know, with this movement, I'm pretty confident my triceps are gonna light up. Again, because of the narrower grip, my triceps are gonna get plenty of work there. My anterior delts are gonna get hit plenty, which I didn't really get, you know, through any other pressing movements that I'm doing, you know, for shoulders or for chest. So this is gonna be, you know, enough work to kind of cover a lot of ground. And then obviously my chest is gonna get hit pretty well. All right, here we go. So down slow, controlled, good stretch at the bottom, come up. Here we go. And even though it feels light, I'm not gonna rush, you know, because I can probably increase my rep speed, but I like to maintain control. And the reason for that control is to keep my joints a little more protected, because that's an important part of my longevity, obviously. So that's a high priority in my training right now, is control and safety. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. It's burning. Again, we're not thinking about that burn though. I mean, I feel it, but that's not my focus. My focus is moving A to B. That's good. Whew, yep. Feeling that all through here. It's a crazy pump. Even my forearms feel it from gripping the handles. So yeah, good movement. It's doing the job for today. All right, set 2 of 2. And again, I'm not gonna talk through this one. I want my energy to go into the set this time around. So I'll let you guys just visually observe. But here we go. Oh, one thing I point out is where I place my feet, I don't go narrow here just because it's the balance. Like I don't have as much stability, but if I open myself up with a wider stance here, or wider foot spacing, I should say, then I just feel more stable all the way across my body. All right, here we go. There we go, good set. That's it. Take my break, and then we'll finish up with last exercise, which is rope hammer curls. Got rope hammer curls, 2 sets. Earlier in the week, I did dumbbell curls. So this upper body session, I'm focusing more on the hammer curls this time around. And as far as the loading, about 60 pounds on this stack. That's enough to get the job done. Again, I'm gonna go pretty much to failure, just to ensure I get a good stimulus there, and capping out at 2 sets. And as far as the movement pattern, going A to B, same principles as before. You know, control the concentric, full range of motion, slow on the way down. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be more like 2 to 3 seconds, just because this movement, the range of motion is shorter than, let's say, a pull down or those push-ups that I was doing. So it might take a little bit less time to get the eccentrics down, just because of that reason. Here we go. Here's 1, 2, put a slight pause at the bottom. That just prevents me from jerking the weight up or using leverage, momentum, that type of thing. It's also going to limit the loading. Like I could already tell, like 60 was probably just a touch too assertive. But I'm going to finish out the set, even though it's probably just a touch too heavy. That's it. So we'll probably drop it down to 50 on the next set just to make it feel a little more comfortable, because that was, yeah, it's kind of feeling it a little bit in my wrists and a little bit of like slight discomfort in the forearm area. Not like a burn from, you know, in the muscle, but more so just like, man, it feels like it's just kind of pulling on something the wrong way. So I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna lower the load down, make it feel more reasonable. Again, still take it to failure to ensure I'm getting a stimulus. But we just want to be safe, you know, that way I can again extend the longevity aspect. This second set, we're gonna crush this here all the way to failure. It's gonna feel more comfortable, which it already does because it's lighter in nature, but lighter doesn't mean necessarily easier, it just means more efficient, more effective sometimes. Oh yeah, that feels way better. I mean, it feels easier, but a few more reps, it's gonna start to get challenging. So as I get more fatigued, pretty confident those muscle fibers, they're gonna work harder and more are gonna come to the party to finish the set out. So as long as I'm going to failure, I know I'm gonna get that stimulus. It's burning. And again, focused on moving the weight, not rushing the weight, but moving it with control, working through the pain, not trying to rush it to try to avoid pain or to get it over sooner. It's like, nah, stay in the fight, stay controlled, make the muscle I'm trying to target work 100%. No leveraging, no momentum. One more, and we are done with this workout. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this session. Hope you guys appreciated the fact that we didn't really, you know, chop out too much of the filler stuff. Like, we kept it pretty real for you. You guys stay safe, have a great weekend, and maybe we'll see you guys next week.